People pleasing can be extremely tiring, extremely exhausting, and basically depleting you of all your energy. And I know out there people say like, be nice to others, take care of others. But for real people pleasers, for people where it's almost like chronic, it is the opposite. It doesn't serve you. And you probably know that, like when you have jumped onto this video, you recognize in yourself a pattern where you are overgiving to people. You are there for everyone around you besides yourself. You're taking care of their needs. You're taking care of all the people around you. And you just feel so burned out and so tired and so exhausted. And the thing is, you're doing all of that for other people, but no one is there to support you. No one is there to give that back to you. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. I basically want to give you 4 less known ways how to deal with people pleasing, how to stop doing it, of course in a healthy way, not in a way where you're very unfriendly to other people, in a healthy way. And especially certain ways that are, as I said, not very much known. Like they are not the big ones everyone keeps talking about. And especially number 4 is the most important one. So keep watching till the end and through all the different ways how you can basically start showing up for yourself now and taking care of your own needs and stop the people-pleasing behavior and stop being available for everyone without getting that back from them. And you will see when you do those things that I mentioned here in the video, you will start seeing that people show up for you more, that actually people start liking you more than in your people-pleasing behavior. It's very interesting. So stay tuned. The first way, the first strategy is actually one where you can practice. So you probably know the big one, like learn to have boundaries, say no more often. But for someone who comes from proper people pleasing, that can be very challenging. That can be quite difficult in the beginning, like how to start saying no to others when you have never done that before. So my tip here is for you in the beginning to not start with the big things, to not start with creating very, very big boundaries, and rather start in neutral settings. Rather start in smaller, like lower stakes situations, like in something, like, do you want to drink a coffee now? And you usually would say yes, because it's like, I don't say no. Start there, like, no, I don't feel like it right now. I would prefer a tea, or I don't want anything right now. Practice even with people that you know very well and where you know that they really like you and they support you no matter what. Start there and be a bit more, no, I need some time for myself. I want to hang out with myself now. No, I don't feel like eating now. I don't feel like going for a walk. And also frame it like that. I don't feel like that at the moment. Could we do this a bit later or so? Like even just creating a little bit of distance towards the no and like making it easier for you to go there. And you could also actually practice with people and tell them, I want to practice that. I want to practice showing up more for myself. Can I practice that with you? Like, can I say no sometimes? And that I don't mean it personally. I just want to practice, like you could even make a game out of it, just for you to get into the habit of saying no, of saying, I don't feel like it right now. So that will be very crucial for you, because when you come from people pleasing, everything in you is there or is aiming at not getting into conflict, not creating conflict, at smoothing the energy, at being available, not having conflict, as I said, because if you're not available anymore, all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, what's going on? And then there is a conflict or a seeming conflict. And you want harmony, you don't want rejection, you don't want anything against you, you're fearful of that. So of course, just practicing in a very low stakes container, so to say, can be really, really beneficial for you. And before we go to way number 2, to strategy number 2, if you want to practice that, if you want to work on your people-pleasing tendency or tendencies, join the Mind Mastery community for only $9 at the moment for the read-only version, or share-only version, where you can share what's going on for you. It's not the coaching tier, it's just basically the conscious creation course in there. Lots of other people who are in the process of getting better with people pleasing, but invisibility, fears, everything around mindset basically. So check out the link in the description and also in the pinned comment, and join us for $9 in the Mind Mastery community. Strategy number 2, less known strategy number 2 is to stop holding so much emotional bandwidth for all the people around you, even for your loved ones, for everyone. Start basically taking your energy back to you. Stop holding all the emotions or taking care of feeling responsible for the emotions of other people. And that again is a practice. This is why it's not one of the big fancy ones out there, because it has to do with yourself. It's less about what do I do with others. It's really about becoming very self-observant in the moment of what is going on right now. Oh my God, I'm directly going into how does the other person feel? I'm directly going into, oh my God, how can I take care of the other person? I'm directly going into feeling what the other person feels, very empathetic, and I'm neglecting myself. And just observing that, and then starting a little bit of, no, I'm taking care of my own needs now. And just going into those thought processes and emotional processes in yourself, not even necessarily doing anything, but really start observing what is happening for you in those moments when you feel like, I have to people please, I have to be there for the other person. See what is happening internally here in that moment. And be like, oh my God, yes, I have fear of rejection. Oh my God, I feel this other person is suffering. I have to be there for them. But why do I have to be there for them? Because I'm also not feeling good in this moment right now. Why am I not here for myself? Just this little observing is going to shift so much for you, because going or getting closer to the root of the whole behavior. It's not just taking care of the action of I'm going to say no, I'm going to create boundaries, which is all super fancy and actually true. But it is, just on the action level. It's not yet on the internal level of why the people pleasing is there in the first place. And with these strategies that I'm talking about now, we are getting closer to what is happening inside of you. So the strategy number 2 is really about shifting away from the other person, and just when you observe yourself, when you see what's going on, taking all your focus from the other person and taking it more towards yourself, and stop holding all the space for the other person. Stop being the emotional mat for everyone, even in that moment, and even through questioning, even just through questioning in that moment, you're shifting the balance there, to say. And with that, we are coming to number 3. And number 3 is after, number 2, which was stop holding emotional bandwidth for everyone around yourself. It basically is bringing it back to yourself. Bring the focus back to yourself and reflect on, hey, what am I feeling myself at the moment? What is going on? Who am I in that situation where I usually took the energy, or I gave the energy to the other person? Now I'm taking it back to myself. What is going on internally? How am I feeling? What are my thoughts? And when you're taking the energy back from the other person and now focusing it on yourself and what is going on inside of you, because there is a part in you, probably a very young part of you, that wasn't taken care of very well. This is how you learn to people please, to be there for others, because you received love for giving and holding space for others. Or this is how you received love, but also perhaps how you experienced things growing up. There were parents who couldn't take care of themselves properly, and you thought it was your job as a child, or you had to take care of your siblings, or you always had to be the nice one and not ruffle feathers. So it is a very deeply ingrained part in yourself. And now, through shifting the energy from the other person towards yourself, it might be that other people don't like this new balance in the beginning. So it might be in the beginning that it's not very comfortable, and you have to be okay with that discomfort. And again, you can play with that. You don't have to go 100% boundary, focus on myself. How am I feeling? You can, of course, pendulate a little bit, go back and forth and make it so that you feel okay with it. But go a little bit more into discomfort, a little bit further than you would usually go. Bring the focus to yourself. How am I feeling? How am I doing? And take care of that little one in yourself, even talking to her or him in your mind, of course, like, hey, I'm fine, I'm safe here right now, it's okay, I'm here for you, like, it's okay. So even that is so important, and this is a big step away from taking care of everyone else and bringing the energy to you, to that neglected part in yourself that created that pattern in the first place of taking care of everyone else besides you. Yeah, and with that part comes self-love. So with that strategy comes self-love and taking care of yourself, Step number 2 was really about stop giving all the energy to others. And step number 3 is giving all the energy to yourself. And that can actually also be with an affirmation routine where you have self-love affirmations of, I love myself, I'm amazing, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, I'm worthy of being taken care of, I'm worthy of being supported, or things like that. Things that you would have loved to hear when you were younger. What are those things? Or even that you feel like hearing right now, and keep saying or start saying those to yourself. And it could be that you say those to yourself in I am format or in you are. Like either you talk to yourself like, hey, you are amazing. You're so worthy of being loved. You're worthy of being heard and being seen. You're worthy of, finally also taken care of, like that. Or I'm worthy, I'm loved, I'm deserving of everything I want, depending, like it really is up to you how you feel like that. And start practicing a self-care or self-love routine that is not about having nice fingernails or going and do your sports routine. That can be part of it, but it's way deeper. It's really how you show up for yourself. And it could even be in moments where you say no to someone, really checking in with that part of yourself that feels frightened and unsafe in those moments because you're not used to that yet. And then showing up for that part and saying, you are safe right now. You can say no. You're allowed to say no. Like almost being the older parent or the parent that you didn't have in those moments, cheering you on and saying, it is okay. You're fine. You can have boundaries. You're allowed to say no. And you can even place a hand on your heart. And I know it might sound a little bit woo-woo or too emotional for you, but that's exactly the thing. You're there to hold space for all the other people, but not for your freaking self. So that is something that needs to shift, So focus from the others, put this focus on yourself. And step for step, start taking care of yourself. And it doesn't matter what other people do in those moments. It's really how you show up for yourself. And as I said, it might ruffle feathers in the beginning because everyone is used to you being nice, being friendly, being there for them, doing anything and everything for them. And when you stop being that person in the beginning, there is a disbalance. It's like a chair where you cut off a little bit from the fourth, leg, it's like all of a sudden it's like this, it's wobbly. So you might feel that, and it's okay. It's okay. You have to train yourself. You have to retrain yourself to start showing up for yourself. And you, of course, also have to retrain your surroundings of things are changing. There is someone taking care of herself. And in the end, it will be so much better for everyone else because you are actually starting to show up for yourself and be almost like an image or an example for other people how they can start showing up for themselves as well. So focus from the outside, take the focus that you are putting on the outside, now bring it on the inside. And now we come to step number 4. And if you like this video, if you get something out of it, if you get some value out of this video, please leave a like, please subscribe to this channel and go to other videos that I have shared about people pleasing, but also in general about conscious creation, about showing up for yourself, about how to shift your entire reality. There's a lot of videos here and I'm going to link one for you to go and watch the next one. And please leave something in the comments, either a heart for yourself or a short sentence where you really basically start the first step of showing up for yourself. Leave a sentence, not for me, of course I will reply, but not for me, but for yourself, of like, yes, I'm taking the energy back. I'm focusing on myself now. Or even if you have a question about something that's unclear, of like, oh my God, isn't this unfriendly if I do this? Isn't this not nice for the other person, or something like that? So whatever shows up, put it into the comments, and then I can respond or create a new video and do this almost as a pattern interrupt for yourself of, okay, I'm starting to show up for myself from now on. It doesn't mean that I can't be friendly to other people anymore. It just means that I'm shifting something that was so way out of balance now and bringing the energy and the focus back to me. So do that, put a comment or even just a heart into the comments to show up for yourself. And now about step number 4. What is step number 4? It is going even deeper. It is about self-inquiry. And not everyone will do that. However, I urge you to do that. Even though if you do the other steps that I mentioned here, this will already shift really a lot for you already. But step number 4 is the one that sometimes people feel is the most difficult. It really is about going deeper and almost going into childhood, going into earlier times and figuring out where this pattern came from. And I have another video that I'm going to link at the end where I go into, certain patterns, how they showed up and where it could come from. So basically the pattern behind people pleasing. Go check that video out. But for now, I just want to leave you with certain questions of like, why do I feel I have to people please? How was it in my childhood? How did I grow up? And you can do some journaling around that. How did I grow up? Were there people who took care of myself? What happened if I was anxious, if I was angry? What was I told from my caregivers, from my parents or my loved ones? How did people deal with my emotions? How did people show up with me when I was in distress? Was there someone showing up for me in those moments? What happened if I was angry and I didn't know how to deal with the situation? Was I told to be quiet? Was I told to shut my feelings down, to be nice and friendly and we're all happy? And perhaps did I experience something like a lot of conflict at home? Was there a conflict? And I basically told myself, I don't want any conflict later on. Like conflict brings me into panic mode. So I want harmony all around me. So that can also be something. Did you have a very chaotic childhood, a very angry, conflict-ridden childhood? That could be another question to ask yourself. Or even another question would be, did I have to take care of people around me when I was younger, when I was a child? Did my parents have some mental illnesses and did I have to take care of them? Or were my parents or one of my parents very emotionally unstable and I had to make sure that everything was okay at home? Perhaps I had to take care of my siblings. So these are the questions that you can start asking yourself. And if you need support with that, come to the Mind Mastery community. I already mentioned it. It's $9 to join for the lowest tier, where you already get a lot of input on the whole topic of mindset, and it will be so beneficial. And there are other amazing high achievers in there who all come from those people pleasing patterns in the beginning, because people who are high achievers, who are there for other people, who carry the load, the weight for everyone. Sorry, I can't talk anymore. The weight for everyone. They are usually like high achievers now because they never had the support when they grew up. They had to start achieving early on in order to be loved and appreciated, or even just recognized and noticed. So this became their go-to pattern. This is why a lot of high achievers actually have very hidden tendencies, or very they open tendencies of people pleasing, but they only become aware of that later on, because it is so connected with their identity. And with those questions of like self-inquiry or inquiry, whatever you say in proper English pronunciation. As you have probably guessed, I'm not from an English-speaking country. I'm originally from Germany. You might have guessed that. So really dig a little bit deeper. Where did this pattern come from? Do some journaling around that. And then again, reparent that small version of you that learned to keep quiet, that learned to keep the peace, that learned to be there for everyone else besides themselves. And no one was there for them. And when you start reparenting that version of yourself, the people-pleasing pattern will start dissolving even by itself. You won't have to do any actions and create boundaries and like now I say this and that. It won't be about that, because it will happen from the inside out. When you start validating yourself, as I said in step 3, self-love affirmations, or even just holding space for yourself. And then you go into the patterns and you change those patterns, those very early patterns, things will start changing on the outside. You will have less desire to be there for everyone, and there will be less need. People will start treating you with more respect. They will give you what you used to give all the time. They will be there for you. Little fly, sorry. They will start being there for you instead of you being there for them all the time. So those are the steps. And if you want to go a little bit further into what can be further reasons of that, like where did this pattern come from, I'll link the video to the people-pleasing video about the traits, where they come from, so that you might even get a little bit more ideas what the origins were and how you can start changing them and shifting them from the inside out. Okay, that's it for today. See you in the next video.